as we go, or if we don't get to them, we'll address them at the end. So please feel free to use that chat box or the Q&A box to ask any questions that you might have throughout the webinar. And if we don't get to them as we're going, we will address them at the end. So before we get started, let's learn a little bit about MaxPreps. MaxPreps was created in a small town in California between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe called El Dorado Hills in 2002 by a local high school basketball coach who was looking for a better way to get his team recognition in the local media. It's our goal at MaxPreps to celebrate the institution of high school sports and recognize that for so many young people, this will be the pinnacle of their careers, and the memories that they make playing high school sports will be some of the best of their lives. That being said, we aim to cover every single team, every player, and every game, no matter the size of the school or the popularity of the sport. There are about 50 or so employees. A vast majority are former athletes and coaches. All of the customer service is operated in-house by our operations team of 8 people, including myself. So when you give us a call, you can really talk to a real-life person who knows and cares a whole lot about MaxPreps and the high school sports community. Our goals for office hours today are to walk through the essentials for an athletic director. We'll go through how to gain access to your school, how to get to your AD admin page, the best way to grant access to your coaches and manager teams, and how to request to add or remove a sport from your school. We'll walk through both your AD admin and coach admin pages for teams at your school and answer any questions that you might have. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to use that chat box and Q&A box, and we'll do our best to answer them, and if we don't get to them, we'll address them at the end. So getting started, you'll first want to log in or sign up, manage your profile, and access your AD admin account. So on the right-hand side here, you'll see your profile page. So this has your account info as well as your admin accounts. On the very right is the flyout menu when you click on your profile icon, which is a quick way to get to your admin account. That's your home base, so anytime you click your profile icon, that's where you can also get to this profile page you see on the left. These slides that we're going through are going to be pretty quick, so if you have questions, we may get to those in a live demo. So we're going to run through these slides and do a live demo to show you how to do everything. So if you do have questions on how to do all of this, we're going to go through that once we go through these slides. So inside your AD admin, you'll see that you have your calendar for the school, an option to manage your school, manage your teams, a message center, notifications, a button to manage your coaches, and reports. So managing your teams in your AD admin, you have the ability to update coach names, give coaches access, log into admins for coaches. So if you need to update anything for a team, you can do so in your AD admin, such as updating rosters, schedules, scores, and so on. So with that being said, we'll head into our live demo here, and I'll show you how to do all of that we just covered in those slides. So if you guys want to follow along, feel free. You can go to maxpreps.com. So this is the MaxPreps homepage. So this is where you'll go to get signed in, or if you don't have a membership account with MaxPreps already, you'll want to create a membership account. So what you'll do is click this sign in button. If you need to create a membership account, you'll go to create an account here. If you see a profile icon in the upper right-hand corner, you can skip this step. That means you're already signed in. So if you sign in, we'll go to MaxPreps. You should be taken straight back to your home page. So this is the MaxPreps home page. Your home base is this profile icon in the upper right-hand corner. So if you're already signed in, this is where you'll want to go. You'll click your profile icon, and this will present a list to you. You should have your first name and last name listed here, the sign out button. And then any teams that you have access to or your school should be listed right here at the top. So this is a quick way to get into your admin if you already have access. But first, let me show you how to get to your account page or account profile page. So in case you haven't been granted access to your school, this is where you'll go to get access. So if you created an account and you're just signing in for the first time, or if you're an AD at a new school, anything above, you'll want to click on this profile icon at the top or your name, which will take you to your account profile page. So here is where you can update your email address, change your password, and so on the left-hand side. So if you need to update your email, change your password, this is where you'll want to go to do so. On the right-hand side is your admin account. So if you already have access to your school, you should see your school listed here under AD accounts. If you don't have access to your school, or if for some reason you have access to another school and you need to change that to the correct school, you can do so from this page. So if you need to request access to your school, what you'll do is come here to request admin access. So on this request admin access, you'll fill out this information for your school, and it'll send a admin or a request into us at Coach Support. So it goes through an approval process. So give it about 24 to 48 hours before you have access to your team. But once you do get granted access, you'll come back here and you should see your school listed here. If for some reason you have a school or teams that should no longer be listed there, if you've changed schools or whatever it may be, you'll want to go to remove myself as an admin here, to click the checkbox next to the school and then remove if you're no longer the AD at that school. So if you've changed schools, you can come here, remove that school, and request access to your new school. So this is where you'll want to go to do any removing or requesting of accesses. You can also access your AD admin account from this page. So if you just click on the school name, that will take you into your admin account. One more thing on this page, if you scroll down, the communication preferences, we just ask or suggest that ADs keep the coach and AD messaging and coach and AD reminders turned on. It's just a great way to get any general information about your school or something that we need to send out to athletic directors. This is a great way to get that information from us. So we just suggest that you keep that toggled on. So to get there, you just go to your account profile page and then communication preferences. So again, if you need to get into your admin account, you can do so from this page, but your profile icon is on every single page. So that's more likely your home base and where you can go to click into your admin. So let's head into our AD admin here. So here on your AD admin, if you've already been an athletic director, you may see a few changes we've made recently, and I'll go over those in a second. But we'll go down the list here. So for a calendar, if you click on the calendar, you'll see the whole school's schedule. Each event and game will be listed here. So you can toggle on and off teams to see only varsity schedules, all football schedules, and so on. So currently we have boys football toggled on and the varsity level. So from here, this is where you can see all the team schedules. Right now for this specific school, we only have football going on, so that's why you only see football. But you should see all sports listed there that you have at your school, and you can toggle on your sport as well as your level. You can sync this information to your calendar on your phone by using the Teams app. Keep in mind that the Teams app syncing the calendar is only for games. It won't sync events. So quickly to cover that, if you download, there's a MaxPreps app and Teams app. If you have the Teams app downloaded, it's the same login information as maxpreps.com. So if you log in, you'll just have your AD admin on the go. And that's where you can sync the calendar if you're looking to sync your calendar. But if we head back to the home page, next we'll go to Message Center. We'll skip these for now. So if you go to Message Center, you can post to the school wall and a specific team wall. So if you want to post to football for something specific, you can do so. You can also post to just your whole school. There's an option to mark it as private, so only whoever is a part of that team can see the post. So that means if you're the AD posting to the football wall, only the football coaches and any athlete that has claimed their profile can see that school post if you mark it private. If it's public, it'll be published so all fans, everybody that comes to your team page can see that. But this Message Center is where you will go to make any of those posts. So if we head back, we'll go down to notifications. So if you need to or want to check quickly what information may be missing from teams at your school, this is the best place to go. Note that it only shows the teams that have missing information. So if you don't see a team listed here, that means they are all good to go. This offers you a quick place to log in as well to get that information updated. So here you see boys baseball team is missing their roster, results, and stats. So if you have a roster for the team, you can just click this button here to update the varsity roster. You can also log in from here, which will take you into the coach admin for the team, which is what coaches see when they log in. And you can go to update the roster from there. So this is just a quick way to see what information is missing for each team. It's an awesome tool if you are looking to just update your schedule to see what schedules have been posted or not. So if we head back to the home page, next we'll go to reports. So this is a quick way to create a report for your rosters or schedules with a simple click of a button. So if you want to get a report of all the rosters of all the teams at your school, this is where you'll come to do so, as well as schedules. So it's a quick way to just download a file onto your computer if you want to get all rosters or schedules that are posted to MaxPreps. So next we'll go to Manage School. So with Manage School, you have your AD access, your athletic director name, and school information. So the Add Update Permissions button here, this means that you're giving access to another person for your school. So if you click on this, you add update permissions, it will give you a list of who has access to the school already. This school specifically is MaxPreps, so we have a lot of people with access to the school. You should typically only see one or two people here. If you need to remove somebody that has access to your school, this is where you'll want to come to do so. This is where you can also add somebody. So if you have a school administrator or an assistant athletic director, this is where you'll come to add the school admin. So that way they can get the same access as you in managing your school. So if we head back to Manage School, you'll see here that there's an athletic director name. So this specifically updates the name for the public pages. So it's the athletic director public name. This doesn't give access to anybody. This simply just updates the name of the athletic director. So the difference between these two is Add Update Permissions grants access to a new person, or you can go here to remove anybody, and then this simply updates the public name displayed on MaxPreps. School information, we'll zoom in here. For school information, this is where you can go to, if you have a school name change, which happens from time to time, you'll have to request that change. as well as your search terms. So if you have a school with multiple names in it, this is where you can go to update your search term if people are having a hard time finding your school. If you do go through a school name change, you'll want to click to request that change. That goes through an approval process with us at support. It shouldn't take more than 1 to 2 business days. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us at support. We'll have our support line listed here in a little bit for you to take down. So this is where you can update any of this information if this has changed for school specifically. Address, same thing goes. Typically, when you enter your new address, it should update your city to the correct city. If for some reason it's not the correct city, feel free to send in a request change. Again, that goes through an approval process. So keep that in mind. It shouldn't take more than 1 to 2 business days. You can also update your school colors here. So when you log into a Coach Admin, which I'll show you here in a little bit, you should see your school colors, your primary color list are up at the top of the screen, which will let you know that you're in your Coach Admin. If that looks incorrect, you can come here to change your colors. If you wanted to enter a school description, this will go on your school's page, your school's public page. So this is where you can go to enter a school description. This is also where you can update your mascot, but I'll show you a quicker way to do that from your home page here in a little. You can update your mascot name. So if your mascot changed, this is where you come to do so. And then we have the options for notable alumni and as well as school staff. So these are just lists of people. So if you wanted to create an alumni list, this is where you can go to do so. School staff, this is just if they don't have access to the school, but you want to add them so they get recognition on the MaxPreps, on your MaxPreps school page, this is where you can go to add the school staff. But this doesn't give them any access to the school. So that being said, we'll head back to the home screen here, and we'll go to Manage Teams next. So in Manage Teams, this is where you'll see any active teams that you have for your school. Keep in mind that a team will be on here if they have been active at your school anytime. So if you see boys golf in the fall, but you haven't had boys golf for a couple years, it will still be there if there's information for that school there. It's just not going to be the most recent season. So you won't see the 21-22 season on there. It'll go when you click to manage the school or the team, I'm sorry, it'll go directly back to whatever season it left off on. So if it was 14-15, it'll go to that season. If you need to delete any sports that you currently don't have, or any sports that you have never had, or any sport that may be duplicated in the wrong season, please reach out to us and we can do that for you. But if you need to add a sport to your school, you can do so from your AD admin right here. If you click Add Sport, you'll just fill out this information. So the gender, the sport, the season, the level, and then if you have a primary contact for that team, so if you have the coach's email, first name and last name already, you can fill that information out here and click to Add Sport. This goes through an approval process as well, but again, it shouldn't take more than 1 business day, 1 to 2 business days. So if you're not seeing that sport added, feel free to reach out to us again, but you should see it within 1 to 2 business days. So if we go back to Manage Teams, this is where you'll also want to go if you want to log into any teams to make changes. So we'll head into the football team for MaxPreps. So if you click Manage next to the team and then click this level, so from here you can click into JV or freshman as well, but if we click varsity for this, this is where you'll see it's similar to your AD managing your school. So Add update permissions. Again, this is where you can go to add a coach. This is a few steps to add a coach from here. I'll show you a quicker way to add your coach's information in a little bit, but from here you can also add or update permissions for your football team. So this is where you'll want to go to grant access to your coaches. And again, this is where you'll want to go to update your head coach name. So you can update your coach. This was just updating your coach name that's displayed on MaxPreps, same as your AD. And here, this is where you'll want to log into your coach admin. So if we click to log into your coach admin, this is the screen that your coaches will see when they log in. So when they go to their profile icon in the upper right-hand corner, or if you are a coach of a team and you have specific access to that team, if you click from here to get into your team admin for boys football, it'll take you directly to this page. So this is the home base for your coach admin. You'll see your team checklist on the right. This is another quick way to see if everything's updated for your team. The message from MaxPreps is just a quick little message that we get out to our coaches, and it's specific to seasons typically. So you'll see here, the fall season's coming up. So we made a note of scrimmage games and verifying your head coach. Specific for football, we have a huddle little message there. So that's just a good place to check if from time to time for updates from MaxPreps. You can update the team photo as well underneath the team checklist. So this is where you'll want to go to update specifically the team. The mascot here, it should be the same image as the mascot image that you see in your school admin. We'll go back and show you a little more about that in a little, but this is where you can update the specific team photo, and then your mascot is school-wide, so it's not team-specific. This is where you can update the mascot image as well. If you need to go into your coach admin and update the schedule, you'll go to schedule, and this is where you can remove games, edit games, and add games. So if you need to remove any games, you can click the checkbox next to the game and then delete at the top. If for some reason you get an error message and it's saying that you can't remove the game, it's more likely that the other team has entered stats in the game, so it cannot be removed, and you'll need to reach out to us to get that removed. To edit a game, you can click to edit game here, and that's where you can go to update the game date, time, if it's home or away, the game type, so league, non-league, and so on, and update the opponent if the opponent changes. So same thing for add, that's where you update that information. If you need to enter a score, this is where you can do so too. Once a game has played, under this button here, you'll see enter score. So similar to the schedule, the roster is the same for removing any athlete. You can just click the checkbox next to their name and remove them. If you need to add them, if it's one or two athletes, I would do this add button here where you can fill out their information and click save and add another. But if you're adding a full team, I highly suggest either going to this quick add option, which is a grid-like style where you can tab through. It's like an Excel sheet, so you'll tab through and fill out the information and just click save at the end. You can also, if we go back to the roster, you can also go to these three little dots in the upper right-hand corner and click to upload a roster. So if you have a roster in an Excel sheet, you can do so, upload it from here. Print roster as well as from here, and you see the print button for your convenience up at the top here as well. If you need to make a league correction for your team, if we go back to the home page, you'll see on the team checklist, there is an option to verify your league. We do our best to keep these updated, but if for some reason your league doesn't look quite right, I suggest you go here, fill out this information. It looks like this team isn't even in a league, so you can go to select your league. If you are in a league, it'll have your league opponents listed there, and if you need to add or remove any, you can do so from here. This also goes through an approval process. This is just a request. It typically takes 1 or 2 business days maximum for these corrections to be made. If for some reason you're not seeing your corrections, feel free to reach out to us and to get some information on what's going on there. You can also update your league by going to more, and there will be an alignment. If you're in a league, there will be an alignment listed here, so you can access the league from the more button as well. So this is your coach admin for each team. So if you need to get in to update a schedule, roster, stats, and so on, this is where you'll want to come to do so. So again, if we go back into your admin for the school, you'll go to manage teams here, click manage next to the sport, click the level, and then log into coach admin. So heading back into your admin here. So we added 2 new buttons for quick ways to update your school logo and make sure that all of your coaches are up to date. We've heard a lot of feedback from athletic directors that updating your coaches is one of the most important things to do. So we made it a quick, easy way to do that. So if you go to manage coaches, you can edit any, you'll have a full list of all coaches for each sport. So if you scroll down, you'll see a coach name listed for each sport. If you don't see a coach name listed there, you can edit from here and add a team admin. So this is where you can also go to remove anybody. If the name looks incorrect, you can go to remove that name as well. So this is just a quick way to see what name is displayed currently as your head coach and update that information and get the access to the correct person. So this is a cool, quick way to log into any team as well to make changes you need. So again, this is just a quicker way to update the coach's name. There are a couple options for you to do so, but this is just a quick 2 clicks to edit the coach's name. So again, if you go back to home, you'll go to manage coaches, and that's where you can see your list of current head coaches. I'm sorry, if we go back, you can also change the level. So this is specifically varsity. You can change the level to JV or freshman, so you get a full list for the full school. So if we go back to home, so up in the upper left, you'll see this is where your school logo will be. So if it looks incorrect or if you don't have one there, this is where you go to update it. So if you click school logo in your AD utilities list, you'll get the full opportunity to upload your mascot as well as change your mascot name. So go back to home. It should be updated here once you do update it. And keep in mind, it needs to be a square or landscape image, and it needs to be a GIF, so GIF image versus like a JPEG. But yeah, I believe that is the end of our demo. So I noticed Aaron had a few questions in the chat. If there are any that he didn't get to, or if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to use that chat box or Q&A box right now, and I'm happy to get to them. You see on the screen here our support line number. It's 1-800-324-7329 extension 1. Support.maxpreps.com is our support site. So that's where you can go look at some articles that may help you. You can also reach us at support@maxpreps.com. That is our support email. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us. I put that in the chat. I believe. There we go. I put that in the chat. So if you do have any questions after the webinar, following the webinar, feel free to reach out. I'm going to be sending a recording of this out via email once we're finished here. And if you have any other questions, you'll also have my email as well, my personal email. So feel free, reach out to me. We're here to help. And we want to make this process as smooth and easy for you as possible. So if we can do a better job in any way, please let us know, and we're happy to help. It looks like we have a question about adding girls wrestling. We do have girls wrestling. We can add that for you. So if it's not listed at your school, you can go, so I'll show you here, to add a sport. You should be able to go to manage teams, add sport, and then go down to girls wrestling from there. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me at the end, or following this webinar. You'll have my email. Support email is there as well in the chat, so support@maxpreps.com. And I'll go back to the slide so you have our phone number there. So we're available from 8 to 5 Pacific time, so Monday through Friday. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a ring, and we're happy to get those answered. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining. Look out for that email here in the next few minutes with the recording of this. And if you have any issues or questions, again, feel free to reach out to us at any time. We're here to make your job easier, the best of our abilities. So any issues you have, any questions, we're here to help. Thank you all for joining, and have a great rest of your day.